Hello everybody and welcome to OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. I'm Jack and I'm back for the 5th round of the first Limitless Qualifier for the Limitless Invitational. We're currently 3-1 with ADP-ization, and this round we're going to be up against another Baby Blounce. We've already played one in round 1. A little bit of spoilers ahead of time. We're going to be against another Baby Blounce, and this it's a matchup that I think is really interesting. But in general is very sort of swingy. I feel not many games go down to the wire. Either the ADP list just wins or the Baby Blounce list just wins. It very, very much depends on how the Baby Blounce can respond to the three prize tag team the turn they use their GX attack. We've already seen in one game where my opponent couldn't respond. He was only able to do 250 damage rather than 300 to knock out the ADP. And this time, I'm feeling pretty confident about my turn so far. I have an energy attachment, and that's kind of the biggest thing. Ideally, I'd get Ization down as well. But there's not much of an issue just attaching. Attaching is the main thing to look for in this deck on turn 1. As long as you find some basic Pokemon in the following turns, and we do have access to a couple of supporters. We already have the Metal Energy to be able to fully use the GX attack, and our opponent has started a GX, so it looks okay in all honesty. Our opponent does hit the Beastbringer and does hit the Welder, so they're going to be looking at taking some prizes with this Blown rather than going for the GX attack here, though obviously there's no way they can one-shot us immediately. They're going to have to be looking at going for a turn 2 Mind Blown if they want to take some prizes with this Blacephalon GX. We do have a fairly decent hand. There's a couple of resources that aren't great to ditch early. Switches, as I mentioned in the last video, are really, really important, and we have double custom catcher already. But as you can see, he goes for the Bursting Burn, and honestly, it's the best thing he can do. Dealing 150 doesn't really do much. It sets up for a Baby Blounce later on, and maybe that was the correct play in some aspects, but I think trying to stop the altered creation is a very, very big deal. Unfortunately, we top deck another switch, which is really, really bad because I have to get out. I really don't want to have to flip a coin to use my GX attack here, but we hit 2 switch, which is very, very scary, and we have to ditch them. I could Marnie here, but Marnieing lowers the odds of me being able to find ways to get out of this really awkward spot, so I just have to accept that we're going to lose 2 switch here, and we're going to have to find one of our other 2, along with another switching option. That's why I attached this escape board to the Ization, because a Metal Saucer here and a switch gives me free retreat, because I can switch and then pay 1 retreat on the Ization. Unfortunately, I hit neither of those pieces. I hit more Gusting. I can thin my deck out a little bit, but unfortunately I really do not hit very much at all, which is pretty sad to see, because it means I'm going to have to take this flip for the Altered Creation to be able to really maximize my odds of winning this game. And unfortunately I flipped Tails, so that not only sets up a bit more damage for him to make his knockout easier, it also means I don't get my ADP GX attack off. There's never time to set up another ADP in this matchup, especially as he's taking 3 prizes this turn. I do force a Welder or a Switch out of him by benching the Absol, but unfortunately he does have the Welder to be able to find that option. And he does then hit the Mind Blown. It's not for the extra prize because of the burn killing me rather than the damage, but even so, he's taking 3 prizes. I have no energy developed on board. I have no free retreater. I have no way of killing this Blown right now. I'm going to have to hit 2 sources and an energy this turn to be able to realistically retreat an attack here. Plus I need a retreating option for this Absol after ditching 2 switch and 1 escape board. I am playing 2 board. Some lists play 1, but I am playing 2. But even so, it's not looking good already. And this is what I mean about the matchup being very polarizing. I feel like in this matchup, one player just wins and one player just loses. And unfortunately, I remember thinking at the time in this game that this was already pretty much a write-off. I'm going to do everything I can, obviously, to try and take this game home, but unfortunately, I feel like this is pretty much a write-off no matter what. We haven't been able to develop any energy on our Zacian. We haven't been able to Altered Creation. We haven't been able to disrupt his hand at all because my Marnie is gone. I don't play Stamp. I do play a second Marnie, but currently it's not in my hand, so I'm looking like I'm going to have to probably Dedenne and try and hit it. So, you know, it's not looking good at all. We're going to need a lot from this Dedenne, plus including Marnie. So we do, if in our ideal turn, we are drawing a lot of cards. But yeah, you know, it's not looking good at all. We don't hit the Marnie, and we actually don't hit any sources either. And at this point, I'm pretty certain it's a complete write-off. There's 3 outs. I remember seeing that there's 3 outs for us to draw with this Oranguru. Unfortunately, we don't hit any of them. We do put an energy to the top, so we are at least guaranteeing an energy from the Intrepid Sword. I then decide to switch into the Dedenne simply because it should be harder for him to knock out a Dedenne than an Absol. He has to get 4 energy on the board to be able to knock out a Dedenne with this Big Blacephalon, or he has to set up a Baby Blacephalon and have 4 energy. So he either needs 7 energy or 4 energy. He can't attach 4 in a turn, so he needs 7. I force him to have 7 energy by promoting the Dedenne. Obviously, that opens up the backdoor win for him to be able to GX attack for the game, but I have to take that kind of decision, I think, in this game, just to try and slow him down a turn. Obviously, his hand is huge, so it's pretty unlikely that I'm going to be able to do this anyway, but I think it was still the correct decision. Maybe it wasn't on reflection, so that like I say, the backdoor GX attack to win him the game wasn't as accessible as it was, but even so, like I said, I was pretty sure this game was a write-off as soon as that ADP flipped tails, which is unfortunate, but as I've said, that's how this matchup goes, I feel. I do have a knockout on this Blacephalon, and to be honest, that's pretty much the only thing I can do. I would love to dig for Custom Catcher to take out the Blacephalon GX, along with a Marnie or something to just try and stall him somehow. He only needs 3 energy with this Baby Blacephalon though, so pretty much no matter what I do, he has me in a kind of checkmate position. The correct play would have been taking out the Big Blacephalon, of course, but I believe I don't have any access to good Gust this turn anyway, so unfortunately, as I've said, this game was a bit of a write-off as soon as we flipped tails on the ADP. It was really unfortunate that we drew to switch as well really early. Obviously, we can't use those switch later on to try and get out of the special conditions, so that lowered our odds of being able to get around the confusion pretty drastically, pretty quickly. But that's how the game goes sometimes. I've felt pretty lucky up to this point with the amount of heads I've flipped on catches and stuff, so my luck was bound to fall the other way at some point. And of course, all he needs now is an energy. There's no gusting options for me to take. I believe this because Hala didn't even have any targets, so you know, pretty unfortunate, but that is how the game goes sometimes. Thank you very much for watching. We're now 3-2, so taking a couple of losses, but hopefully we can bounce back and see where the rest of the tournament gets us.